Welcome to the last live Sunday broadcast for our Sunday discussions. Now today, it's just me, o solo mio, just Curtis. So not much of a discussion, more of a monologue. And that is part of the reason why we are making some changes to when we do live discussions. Now, today we're going to talk about something cool. At least I think it's cool. Two of the best directions I have ever received in my performing life. One was from a choreographer, another was from an acting director. We'll get to that. But before we do that, I do just want to cover the fact that these live broadcasts and the live discussions have been doing really well for themselves. And we've been getting a lot of really positive feedback about them. And because of that, I really want to be a lot more ambitious about some of the topics that we're going to cover in these live discussions. Because Renee and I have access to some really cool people and some very intelligent people and some very educated people and people with very strong opinions and people who know how to articulate those opinions. And in order to be able to get the best possible people to be able to participate in these live discussions, we're going to have to change the day. Sunday morning worked well for me. Just me. Not really anybody else. Even Renee was like, this is not the best day to be doing these kinds of things. We have to take the dog in the morning. There are things we have to do in the afternoon. And Sunday ends up being one of those days where a lot of people just have other things to do that aren't watching YouTube or participating in a YouTube live discussion. So we are moving the official day. We'll start doing live discussions on Tuesdays, not this Tuesday. This one counts for this week. But next Tuesday, we're going to start doing live discussions on Tuesday nights. That way, we can get the people that we want and we can get the viewers who would like to see it live. Also, we do have the special featured discussions that we're still going to do, but I'm not going to set definitive days for when those are supposed to happen because those do require special people, especially like when we do the body image episode. There are some very good people to get on that panel. And in order to make sure that we can get them, I want to make sure that we can pick whatever day works best for the majority of those folks. So watch social media, pay attention to these websites and everything like that. We will keep you updated on the schedule, but they will be on random days that work best for everybody. Now, let's get down to what we're talking about today. We talk a lot about creativity and a lot about the profession of being an actor or being a creative in this crazy world of show business. And since I was by myself today, I wanted to talk about two of the best notes that I've ever gotten. Now, I have received a lot of great lessons throughout the last 33 years of being in this profession. And when I think back on the ones that have made the most impact, there are two in particular that were short, sweet, a little on the curt side, but ended up having a dramatic amount of impact, not just in how I performed in those things, but in how I've continued to think about the process of acting, performing, rehearsing, and everything that goes along with it. So many years ago, I did a production of West Side Story. And believe it or not, I played a shark. There was makeup involved. It would be frowned upon today in 2017. But back then, when we were learning our dancing, we had a very impressive choreographer whose name slips my mind. I apologize in advance for that. But when he was teaching us how to do the dances, and bear in mind, he had a variety of teenagers between 14 and like 20 that he was teaching these things to. And all of us were, hormonal high school degenerates who could take a little bit of wrangling. But when he taught us how to do the dances, anytime we did a full out run through, if somebody missed something, he'd point you out and yell, "You missed it." And it seems shocking and it seems harsh, but when we were in the process of learning and in the process of rehearsing, it ended up being the thing that kind of snapped us all into place. And remember, dealing with teenage kids who are pretty sure they know everything already, it took that kind of sharp whip crack to be able to get our attention and to be able to get us to focus on the work that we were supposed to be doing. That phrase, and he had to use it a lot. I mean, it was pretty constant. There would be a turn, you missed it. There'd be a kick, you missed it. There'd be a mambo, and I had a little bit of trouble with the mambo at first. You missed it. And every time it was like it was the correction that was necessary to be able to get that going. I still use it to this day. When there are rehearsals and there are things that need to be tightened up, especially when things need to be tightened up. And it's never said with any kind of malice or anything like that, but when you do have routines that require quick changes or tight maneuvers or in sync maneuvers, then the only way a group is able to know if something is wrong is if they are told. And in the moment, it's a nice kind of reminder to hear something quick and something sharp and something deliberate to be able to point them in the right direction. Now, the other bit of direction that I received was during Rope, Alfred Hitchcock's Rope, that I did just a couple years ago. And it was a small cast. We were a tight cast. Renee was in that show with me, and a lot of the Fullerton Community Theater regulars from the Maverick Theater. And we had to put up the show relatively quickly. It was about 2 weeks worth of rehearsal. And we were trying to build a set and get costuming done. And even though Alfred Hitchcock's Rope is not quite as dense as the original Rope show, it's still Alfred Hitchcock, and it's deliberate, and the writing is very specific. And so in addition to trying to learn the lines and remember the blocking, and, you know, there's especially for the role that I was playing, Brandon, and Jeremy Kravasik, who played opposite me, there were emotional highs and lows that went into everything we were doing as well. And during rehearsal, you know, it was summer, it was hot, and we were all pretty tired. And after a particularly long scene, it was like our director Joe just looked at us and with a little bit of frustration, just kind of said, "Act better." It is still one of the best notes I've ever gotten, because we both knew exactly what he was talking about. We weren't there yet. We weren't present. We were merely saying words and trying to show up on places and spots on a stage. We were not performing in any way, shape, or form. We were mannequins that could talk. And it was the note that was able to kind of kick us in the ass and just be like, got it. All right, it's time to stop playing around with the technical and get to the actual art of this situation. And that show ended up being very, very good. If you didn't get a chance to see it, I'm very sorry. If you did get a chance to see it, I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed performing it. The reviews certainly enjoyed it, and you can see those on my website if you want to check it out. Today's live broadcast is short. It's tough to have a discussion with yourself, especially when you just have a very specific thing that you want to talk about. Again, this is the last Sunday live discussion. Going forward, we're going to be happening on Tuesday nights, but not next Tuesday. Next Tuesday is this counts for next Tuesday. And then we'll have our featured discussions scheduled as time is available for our panelists. So thank you very much for joining us on these Sunday mornings. I hope you've enjoyed them on Sunday, but I think you'll enjoy them even more when we go to prime time, Tuesday nights. We'll see you soon.